Aloha, and Tashi Delay from Quiet Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai. We present this class every Thursday night from 6 to 8 and Zoom it and record it on our website for those in different time zones, making it available to whoever is interested. I'm Lama Tashi. When we present this class, I get a lot of inquiries by letter, telephone, and Skype or Zoom. And one of the questions that keeps coming up is, what happens at the moment you leave this life and go to the next life? And is that based on belief? Well, first I'll answer the second question. No, it is not based on belief. This is not a faith-based religion. This is simply a set of teachings, practices, and based on the experience of other men and women who have been doing this for 2,600 years. And some of them have actually come back from what we call the bardo, or bardo of becoming, into the human condition and continued to give their advice and training. But to answer your question in a more skillful way, from the book of Vivid Awareness by GreenTara Rinpoche, which I recommend every practitioner memorize, study. On page 205, it says, in our daily life, computers, cell phones, TVs, and so forth are not important. What is important is knowing that this life is short and the next life is different. And we apply that on the level of existence. And he says, the bardo of becoming is important because it's a point where appearance of this life stop and we exchange them for the appearance of a new life, which is critical. The reason is because if we are not overcome by the fear of our own afflictions, emotional programming, and can maintain through practice a good, calm, and gentle state of mind, by doing that, it will help us to make the appearance of the next life positive. If we are overpowered by fear and afflictions during this next existence, called the bardo, our mind, by being agitated, will find it very difficult, and these feelings and afflictions that arise, such as anger and so forth, will be tumultuous and uncomfortable, and we will not be able to take a good rebirth after that. In order to prevent that, we must be able to control ourselves during this bardo experience. The way to make sure that we're able to do that is think about the bardo beforehand and do practice with the guidance of our teachers. If we contemplate and prepare for it now, our minds will be loose and relaxed when we arrive at the time of departure from this body, and also during the next life as well. We should not think that there's no need to worry and put everything aside that would be conducive to that. If you do that, you will find yourself in the bardo. If you don't do that, you will find yourself in the bardo, afraid, depressed, or even angry at the experiences that are arising. This will lead to many difficulties. That's why it is important to practice taking the Bardo as the path now. Now, there's more about that on page 201, but that's a short summary of what to expect. Now, let me explain a little bit about the mind according to Gongshar Rinpoche, because that's where we are now. This mind is made up of 8 different consciousness: sensual, mental, physical, emotional, and so forth. In each of these 8 consciousness, there are 51 different mental factors that can occur, which are like the coarse thoughts that we have during mundane existence. The bare consciousness itself normally resides within your heart center, or for some in the brain. When the mind and body separate at death, these 8 consciousness are released from the body and appear in 42, in a state of 42 peaceful deities, one of which we're doing tonight, and including 8 great male bodhisattvas, 8 great female bodhisattvas, and many others. The motion of the coarse thoughts, these 51 mental factors, normally occur within the brain, but when released from the body at death, these 51 factors appear as 51 bloodthirsty, wrathful deities. If we have done the creation stage of visualization and so forth with the guidance of our lamas, through these practices, we recognize these deities, which by doing that will allow us to take a good rebirth. However, if our practice is not stable, we will not recognize these deities and will be overcome by our mental and emotional afflictions of desire, aversion, and states of sheer fear and anxiety and terror. Then all the confused perceptions of the Bardo will occur during this period. That is why it's so important to do practice to prepare for the Bardo of becoming. And this is described by various instructions, manuals, and teachings, starting from Shakyamuni Buddha down to the present day men and women teachers, which are everywhere on this planet. The 2 ahs. Ah is the sound of the energy of the outer world, just as it appears. And the second ah is the development of our inner states of higher awareness through Dharma practice with the guidance of the teachers, one or many. And since this is simply a healing program designed to bring up the antidotes to the cause of suffering and what we call the appearance of suffering, the outer appearance. And by doing that, we alleviate or even remove this suffering while in the human condition, not only for ourselves, but many other sentient beings, animals, humans, and spirit. So now we start with the altruistic motivation to bring all of these sentient beings to recognize their true nature and how to use it. I'll chant that in Tibetan and then I'll say the words of this aspiration. Dag dong joa nam ke da dong yang ke sem chen Tam che du ne jung te ji si Chang chu ning po la chi pi bardu. And in English, in order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together take refuge and offer prostrations and other skillful means of practice. Then we take refuge, which all Buddhas do, in the three jewels, which is the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. But we also take refuge in the deities, the lamas and the deities, both peaceful and protector. They are called the three roots. I'll chant this prayer in Sanskrit and we'll say it in Canadian. Walden Lama Dampa Namla Chapsu Chio Yedam Chokorgi Latso Namla Chapsu Chio Sanjay Chom Dende Namla Chapsu Chio Dampe Chur Namla Chapsu Chio Kape Gendu Nama Chapsu Chio Kawo Kandro Chokyo Sume Sho Yeshe Ki Shendan Genpa Nama Chapsu Chio. In Canadian, we go for refuge to all the glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered the mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. We go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis who are the protectors and defenders of Dharma. All of these possess the eye of transcending awareness, which we call higher states of intelligence. Sanjay Chodam Choki Chodam La Jangchu Bardu Dagni Chapsu Chi Dagi Jenso Jipe Sonam Pi Chola Kenjur Sanjay Jupar Show. The altruistic motivation, together with the six supports of the six refuge and the practice of bodhicitta, which is generosity, morality, patience, perseverance, meditative concentration, and the development of insight with good manners and ethics always in place. These are the theme. These are the taste of your natural mind. And these take you out of the drama mind, which is based solely on the idea of the self, separate from everything and everyone else. This idea, which is false, into a state of unity where one can be free, liberated by their own practice from their own painful mental, emotional, and physical habits, activity, tendency. And where do these negative tendencies, harmful tendencies come from? From previous lives. And if not addressed in this life, will follow us like a shadow into the next life. So therefore, what we just did becomes the antidote in practice, night and day, from now and far into our future, to produce states of lasting happiness and lasting higher states of awareness or intelligence. So these 6 bodhisattva disciplines, together with the skillful means of using the deities, peaceful and protector deities, with the guidance of the Lama, are absolutely necessary. In front of me, if you can see this, I'm pointing to a 4-stage mandala with a gold plate at the bottom and 3 rings and a Dharma symbol at the top. The bottom one is the golden universe which we inhabit, which is perfect just as it is. And these 3 are the development of your body, speech, and mind applied to the 3 kayas of the universe, being a bodhisattva training school, a Buddha field of infinite appropriate energy programs. And the very top is your mind glazing as a result of having started here in the all ground of the nirvana and samsara, and progressed with your body, speech, and mind through these pre-grades and offered it in infinite proportions to every sentient being in the universe. And this mandala offering is one of the 4 Nungdo practices, foundation practices, which goes along with prostrations and taking refuge, which we just did. Purifying your mind through Vajrasattva practice, so you take away the obstacles. Generating abundance and good health and wealth by making 100,000 of these mandala offerings. And then bringing those 3 to the Guru Yoga that says all the teachers are Buddhas. Manang Kana Yampe Semshen Tam Shela Namar Rinpoche La Sowa Deb So. With all beings, my children, we go to the Lama's precious Buddha. So I'm explaining that because they show this a lot when the Lamas give refuge or they accept a new Lama to their Dharma center. They make offerings of this mandala plate. Also, I have a bell here which is used for calling the female deities, which activate all your wishes appropriately. They may not be exactly as you would like them, but they do activate those that are helpful, beneficial to others, to the environment around you, and so forth. And then finally, a candle, which is a symbol of your warmth and enlightened heart of loving kindness and infinite compassion for infinite sentient beings. And applying the infinite Dharma as the antidote. The seed symbol of this is Tom. Now, Tom, usually we start our class with the 3 lights and 5 elements practice, which is earth, water, fire, air, and space. Now, this symbol is all of those 5 in one. but it is also the 5 elemental taras of your wisdom nature. So yes, they're what everything in the universe is made of: earth, water, fire, and space. Your mother created you with these 5 in her body. And my mother says, don't let anybody tell you anything different. And so I got that. But now it's come to the stage where tonight we're going to do the 5 Tara practices with their mantras, and using this seed soluble tong as the emerald colored symbol in your heart chakra, imaging what the stupa stands for: the mind of the Buddhas, the mind of the Dakinis, which activate all Buddha accomplishment. We wouldn't have a stupa here on Kauai that we can visit and use for healing and meditation practice if these Dakinis had not put their energy into it. So our stupa is called here on Kauai, which is quite large, looks like this. It's called the Dakini symbol, stupa. And behind it is a large image of Tara, similar to the one over my left shoulder, sitting on the shrine, but larger. And she is copper black. Now, to do the Tara practice with the guidance of the teacher, who is Tara, all the lamas are Tara. They are all the 1,000 peaceful and protector Taras. But in the mandala of Tara, there are 21 applications. 10 of them are peaceful and 12 of them are what we call wrathful energy. And you can identify this the same way a mother treats her only child, with great loving kindness, always being nice. Oh, you're such a good child. But when the child becomes unruly, using a little more strong discipline. So wrathful energy is strong discipline. Now, these 5 elements possess 5 states of wisdom, and they come out in the female women of this planet, which are in charge of the birth process to bring all the humans on the planet, men and women. But not all these women know that. But one aspect quality that women have in place at birth by being a woman is intuitive awareness. Now, whether or not they accept that or use that during their life, well, everyone's different. We're all equal, but we all have different karma. But for those women that do, like my mother, who is extremely intuitive, it is very useful. And that intuitive awareness is in each of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space, as wisdom energy. And this wisdom energy creates an infinite field of application, leaving no sentient being out of the energy field. The universe is here to bring humans into existence, support them in their life, and allow them to be human, just as they are, you know? And come from the mother's womb and develop and grow, and then with good karma, meet with the Dharma and the teachers, and become more aware And even some men become intuitive.
What?
Yeah, I'm starting to get this. It's kind of fun. And since I'm a capitalistic Lama, it's very useful not only in my practice, but in gaining abundance in my gardening and other worldly activity. So that said, we're going to do the 3 lights breathing, but not with the 5 basic elements, but with the 5 Dakini energies of those elements, so that we can gain insight into these 5 states of wisdom quickly in our practice. They're easy to understand. The first one is that everything is in a state of unity. We're all in this together. Every human and animal and spirit in the universe is part of your life support system. And you know that because your body and everything you have came from somewhere and somebody else. The second one is bodhisattva practice, which means putting that into action. That's why we take refuge. The third one is being intuitive in a state of awareness that knows that this is an illusion and that we need to modify it so it's more fun. Number 3 is this state of equality applies to everybody. Every human, animal, every lower, we call it demonic spirit or preta, deprived spirit, and all of the gods of the heavens are equal. There's no superior, there's no inferior, none of that. And finally, knowing this, your discerning awareness is simply higher states of intelligence that are not available to you because you're so conflicted with your drama mind and idea of the self as being the only game in town. Did I say that? So let's practice. Tom, tom, tom. Body, speech, and mind. Then tom, 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 tom. 4 times. Body, speech, and mind all together in Dharma practice. Wisdom. And then the application. Tom, tom, tom. The result is that the universe is the Dharmakaya. It's a Bodhisattva training ground. It's a Buddha field with 5 apps. And the deities are all the bliss energy of the fun that we can have with that, in that. And those 2 are the mind of the Lamas, loving kindness, compassion, power, and insight, called the Nirmanakaya. So these 3 kayas or vehicles are what we are accomplishing by doing the Dharma practice the way we're going to do it tonight. Sit with your back straight. Everything's like this to start with. Clear, white. When you inhale, think of the elements that the air possesses: earth, water, fire, and space, as being light, white light, this color, filling your lungs, and hear the sound Om. Looks like this in Sanskrit. Chant Om. Om. Then that air possesses the energy of the elements and the vibration of the wisdom of those elements as intuitive awareness passing through every cell in your body as red light. Hear the sound ah. Chant ah. Stay here. Then those two sounds, Om and Ah, with the color code of the white and the red, change to blue and become the exhale out your nose, which permeates infinite space, like the sky. Chant Hum. Looks like this. Om, Ah, Om. Now, where do these three vibrations come from? From the teacher, from the Buddha. And from the teacher's three places, whoever your teacher is, the white comes from the teacher's forehead into your forehead. It's the Om in your established in your brain, in your head. The Ah is the energy of all that permeating your physical structure and mental structure. Then the Om and the Ah, that comes from the Lama's throat. And then the Hum is the wisdom energy of the Lama's mind coming into your heart chakra, heart to heart. Then these three lights, Om, Ah, and Hum, become the breath. And so for a few moments, seeing those three lights coming from the Lama's three places into your three places, chant Om, Ah, Hum. Om, Ah, Om. Om, ah, Om. Om, ah, Om. And once you can see those three lights coming from the lamas or whatever Buddha or Bodhisattva image you have in front of you into you, then that image teacher dissolves into you. Like water into water. This is the fourth empowerment. So that you get the results of the deity appropriately. Then the Om, Ah, Hum in your head, Ah and throat, and Hum and heart all come together. The Om comes down the central channel into the Ah, these two together down into the Hum. And the Hum, when the Lama merges into you, becomes the sound Tom. And this is green in color and thick. Think of it like the thickness like a cookie. Tom in your heart center, surrounded by a 5-colored sphere of light, which is the 5 wisdom lights. Then light goes out from that Tom to your mother in front and yourself as Tara. Whether you knew your mother or not, or liked her or not, or whether she took care of you, she gave you a human body with the potential to become enlightened, which is what you are now bringing into effect. Then when you can see your mother as Tara, she looks like this, GreenTara. Right hand, thumb and ring finger resting on the left knee, left hand, thumb excuse me, and index finger on the right knee, and left hand thumb and ring finger, which this one is good health, and this one is abundance. Then from each of these springs flowers. The blue flower is the lotus flower of wisdom, and the red flower is the one of accomplishment of practice. Then on the right side, the same, the red lotus and the blue flower, but they're coming from,
Blue's accomplishment?
blue is the wisdom, the red is the accomplishment
Okay.
of your deity practice, whatever it is. In this case, Tara. She has an empty mirror at the base, and above her head is a lotus opening with two blossoms. This is the potential of you and all others to become what the lotus signifies, bodhisattvas in the human condition, taking care of humans, like the mother. She has a kata around her waist, which symbolizes auspiciousness, 6 kinds of jewelry. She is bare, wearing no clothing except for 5 colored stockings. She has 5 colored of roses in her hair, which is the 5 Buddha energies that we're talking about. And a Katari symbol in her means everything in her mind is about loving kindness and compassion. She appears in space with the sun and moon in the sky and in a peaceful setting, like here in Hawaii. And yeah, there's a beach back here. Then around her are many flowers. And this is the light energy of her healing energy feeling off. She sits on a lotus sun and moon seat. The lotus has 32 petals. Her left foot is extended on another lotus, ready to go into action, which is her wrathful standing symbol. And once you've got this, you and the mother in front as GreenTara, the rainbow body, we call bliss energy body of the deity. Then you apply it to all your relatives, friends, and lovers, and everybody you have karma with, whether they're nice or not. Then all the humans of the planet today, which is around 7 to 8 billion humans, all Tara. Then you project it to all the animals in the ocean and all the animals on the land, infinite in number, Tara. Then you project it to the 4 spirit worlds of the 2 of the heavens and 2 of the lower realms of the demonic spirits, Tara. And this fills the universe with this mandala of everyone being this deity. This causes the heart mantra to appear. The heart mantra can't come into existence. The vibration can't come into existence until you use this symbol of Tara for everyone, even the ones you don't like, the nasty ones, the stinging animals.
That's when the mantra appears?
That's how the mantra appears. The mantra is just not something that we make up. It's a result of the energy of infinite compassion of everybody using this symbol to overcome their drama mind and all the obstacles. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Soha. 10 sounds. What do they mean? Om means the same thing as when you inhaled that light energy of the universe and created it in your lungs. The power. Then Tara means protective wisdom mother, auspicious wisdom mother. Tutare means swiftly accomplishing, ture Removal of all obstacles, poisons, any kind of harmful energy, remove. When? Soha, Svaha, now. For everybody, no matter where they are, heaven to hell and in between. Every kind of stuck in them. So when you become Tara, you're removing your own afflictions, your own blockages, your own stupidity, bewilderment, ignorance, delusion that the ego sets up for you to say this is the way it thinks it should be when it isn't that way at all. In fact, it's harmful. And it's the state of our planet today with the humans and how they're functioning, how we are functioning. It's not working. So we put this into effect with Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Sha, with every sentient being in the universe, the mind of the Lama as Tara. And how do you get your handle on this? Is think of your mother with an only child and her unconditional love and compassion for that child. Unconditional love. Not Valentine's Day love, not Christmas Day love. Unconditional. Breathe. Inhale white light. Fill your lungs. Hear the sound Om. Fill your body with radiant red light energy of all that going through every atom. Then those two sounds and those two lights exhale blue light out to space. Hum. The hum equals the tom. Tom. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re So Ha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re So Ha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re So Ha. Ha is the lion's roar of infinite compassion. With your exhale, heart connected to every sentient being as your mother. When you have said this mantra 111,000 times, keeping track with a mala or some other method, you will be happier. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re So Ha. 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 Om Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re So Ha. 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 This is the tongue. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re So Ha. 5 colors of wisdom light. Instead of it being horizontal, it goes vertical, it goes horizontal around the tom in your heart. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re So Ha. Tom in the middle, like this. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re So Ha. 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 Now to become the Buddha Tara of Aksobhaya Buddha, which is the Buddha of mirror-like wisdom, which means using your mind as a mirror to reflect all of the incoming drama, negative energy, like a mirror, back, and only allowing the light of that to penetrate into the mirror, to keep it shiny, clear, empty, reflective. That's this energy. And we add 2 sounds to the Tara mantra. And we think that Aksobhaya Buddha is above our head as our teacher, blue in color. Looks like the Buddha behind me, at blue. All the Taras change to blue in your mandala. And the seed syllable, whom, appears with the sound of water, mom. So mom is the actual energy of the element water, and whom is the wisdom nature of unit, of mirror-like wisdom. Your mind becomes like an empty mirror. Now say the Tara mantra, visualizing you as blue Tara, and add these 2 sounds, mom and whom, to the mantra. And if you can, see these 2 the way they appear on this chart, if you have it, mom and whom, in your heart center, with the tongue. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re, Mom, Hum, So Om Tara, tu tare, tu re mom hum so ha. Om tare, tu re mom hum so ha. So ha means infinite application, timeless, always increasing, always beneficial, always appropriate. The Dakinis make sure of that. You don't have to worry about your Dharma practice harming anybody or anything. Whatever is appropriate, the Dakinis will take care of it. You don't have to think you're accomplishing anything except this mantra and being this deity. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. I'll read you the activity of this. Destroys negativity, purifies emotional dysfunction, increases the pleasure of touch. And on the wisdom side, it's the Vajra family of the Buddha Vajrasattva Aksobhaya. It affects your form body, is the element water, and takes care of anger and aggression. It is called the mirror-like wisdom of the wisdom Dakini Tara. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Your physical body is mostly made of the vibration of water and is totally dependent or in unity with every sentient being in the universe as one single being. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Mam, Om Soha. Then we move to the second color code of green, which is what we started with, the GreenTara, which is prana, the energy of the air element, is the life force supporting you being in a human condition as a bodhisattva. It is the actual activity of the GreenTara, and you bring in Yam and Ah, become GreenTara with the Yam and Ah in your heart center and add it to the mantra, and all the beings in your mandala are GreenTara. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Yam Ah Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Yam Ah Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Yam Ah Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare. Yam Ah Soha. Om Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Re Yam Soha. Om Tara. Tara, Tu Tare, Tu Yam Soha. Om Tara Tutare Ture Yam Soha. Om Tara Tutare Ture Yam Soha. Om Tara Tutare Ture Yam Soha. Yam is the sound of the vibration of the energy of air or any type of gas. And awe is the energy of vibration of the energy of the universe as space and light, which is everything. Thoughts, appearances, the world, everything. Now we move to center stage to the Buddha Dakini, who is white in color. So you change your color code, all the U and all Taras are white in color, with the C syllable Vam and Om. Vam is the sound of vibration of space, and Om is the sound of the emptiness or power of that space as voidness, Buddha nature. Om Jara Jutare Turi Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutare Turi Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutare Turi Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutare Turi Vam Om Soha. The Buddha family is Vairocana Buddha. The one we just did before was called the Karma family. That's the green one, Amoghasiddhi. This has to do with the consciousness of the mind as space. Its activity is clarity, peacefulness, voidness, and affects the energy of smell. Om Tara Tutare Jure. Om Soha. Om Tara Tutare Jure. Om Tara Tutare Jure. Om Soha. 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 Then we move to the next energy field of the Buddha of equality, the Ratna Sambhava or Ratna family, gold in color. You become gold Dakini Tara, all of your mandala, every sentient being gold Tara. The vibration is added to the mantra of the sound Trom and Long. Trom is the sound of equality, and Lam is the sound of earth, the earth element. So this is the earth Dakini. Om Tara Tutare Turi Long Cham Soha. 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 This is the power of creation, enrichment, increase, supreme generosity, and good health affecting your taste. The Ratna Sambhava corrects your feelings of inequality and uses the earth element for healing. Om Tara Tutare Turi Long Cham Soha. Om Tara Tutare Turi Long Cham Soha. It is the wisdom of equality. So what we have covered here so far is mirror-like wisdom as the blue Tara, all-accomplishing wisdom as the Karma Tara, Dharmadhatu wisdom as the Buddha Tara, and this wisdom of equality as the Earth Tara. Now we become the discriminating Tara of the red Tara, bringing the fire energy, or what we call radiance or radiation, in. If is your mandala of all the Taras red in color, and the sound wrong, which is the vibration of radiation or fire, and Hri, which is the vibration of the Buddha Amitabha of infinite light. So this is the energy field of Amitabha with the red Tara affecting all the qualities, 21 qualities, and 100 applications of this in 5 energy fields. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Kri Soha. 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 Om Tara Tu Tara time. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Ram Kri Soha. 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 Now, all of these 5 earth, water, fire, air, and space as the 5 wisdom Taras, bringing these 5 energy fields into play. We apply to every sentient being, starting with our own mother and all of our relatives, friends, all of our enemies, everybody who hates us or abusive to us. However you have been thinking about them, become the deity Tara, perfect in every way, with the wisdom qualities in place. So we go back to the green Tara with the tom. Which is the sound of all these 5 Buddha fields and all these 5 elemental energies in place, and sound the mantra and call all the Dakinis to effect whatever wishes we have that are to be activated right now for each and every one of us, just as we are. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re Soha. Your green Tara with the tom in your heart center. And the whole mandala is green Tara. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu Tara Soha. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re 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 Soha. Om Tara Tu Tara. Tara, tu, tara, tu, so. Om Dara tu Dara tu Re so ha. 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 Loving kindness on this side. Compassion for all sentient beings on this side. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tara Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu 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 Tara Tu Soha. Om Tara Tu Tara Tu Re 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 Soha. Om Tara Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu 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 Tara tu re so ha. 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 Om Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu re so ha. Om Tara tu Tara. Om Tara tu Tara tu re so. 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 Om Tara tu Tara tu so. Om Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu so. Om Tara tu Tara tu re 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 so. Om Tara tu Tara tu Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu. Whisper the mantra. Om Tara tu Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu Tara tu re so. Om Tara tu Tara tu so. Then say the mantra, just imagine the mantra going around in your heart with the tongue in the center. Whatever you're doing, all beings in your mandala are doing. Now whisper the mantra. Om tar tu tar turi so 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 om tar om tar tu tar turi so 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 om tara tu tara tu re so ha om tara tu tara tu re so ha om tara tu tara tu re so ha. Then move from the practice stage of the deity, called the creation stage, into the wisdom stage of accomplishment of Dharma Dhatu. No meditation. All sentient beings filling your mandala from every direction stream into you all at once, or in stages. All the heavenly, all the worldly of the humans, all the lower realms of the demons, all of these as Tara into you as the central green Tara. Then you as the central figure disappear into the mantra around the seed soluble tongue, starting with Om, Ta, Ra, Tu, Ta, Re, Tu, Re, So, Ah. Then the mantra disappears all at once into the seed soluble tongue. You as Tara with the mantra and the 5-color ray of light disappear. In this state of disappearance, no harm can come. Rest in voidness. The essence of your own mind as awareness, clear, open, empty, and blazing like the sun, vivid awareness. Simply be present, relax, and enjoy the bliss.
After the wisdom state of your practice, however long you do that, the longer you can maintain the wisdom state, the more the karma of your future is purified. And by that, we mean that entering into the next life will not be anything but fruitful, fun, spiritually appropriate. He says, for that reason, when in dealing with the afflictions of the mind, don't suppress them. Don't view them as empty or a state of emptiness. And most importantly, don't indulge them. Don't let them carry you away. Remember these three. When your negative, emotional, harmful afflictions arise on their own. What we do is instead take them as the path. But how do we put them into practice? Lama Kempo Gangshar gives this analogy. Just as poison can be extracted from a poisonous plant and taken as medicine, the special quality of these teachings lies in the fact that the disturbing emotions themselves can arise as wisdom the moment you relax in naturalness and not suppress them, see them as emptiness, or let them carry you away. Simply practice by looking directly into their essence, their nature, which is the same as the wisdom nature of your deity yoga practice. Don't reject it. Don't regard it as a fault. But most importantly, don't indulge in it concretely, or worse, regard them as a virtue. These harmful afflictions of attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, and delusion or ignorance. These five are the most dangerous and harmful energies that the human race has evolved with today. And all of these together, we put into a term called greed.
which means never satisfied, never enough. And that's one little paragraph out of this book by GreenTara Rinpoche about your own states of vivid awareness as being healthy, not heavenly, healthy. Dedication. That's what we are. Dedicated. Responsible for ourselves, others, and the environment. By the power of the truth of these great practices and compassion of all the lamas as objects of refuge, and by the power of the merit and virtue of pure altruism applied to everyone, may I now completely remove every misery of every living being, infinite as the sky. By the perfect virtues of this world and of states of nirvanic bliss, may the hopes and desires of all beings be filled appropriately according to their wishes, according to their appropriate wishes. May my own body, flesh, blood, skin, and so forth, and everything I do appropriately benefit all beings. May the miseries of all my old mothers, all living beings come upon me. May all happiness and virtue be realized by them. For as long as I remain in this world, may there never arise, even for an instant, the thought of harming others or my environment. And for the sake of these living beings, may I energetically exert myself, not slacking for even an instant. That's called being responsible as a bodhisattva. Dewa di nurdu da, chaga champo jubirne, jowa chenke malu pa, de isa, kopar shok sanjay kusan dempacham ladam, choni megar dempacham ladam, gendu miche dempacham laki, chitar gomam momam jupar shok. By this virtue of having realized my own Buddha, may I quickly establish every sentient being without exception in that state. By the blessings of the three kayas of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma itself being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of the Sangha, that's us, being unwavering, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. May all beings have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their appropriate wishes be fulfilled. Aloha and Tashi Dele.